Hello again, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us for today's maths lesson. We've been thinking lately all about money, and yesterday we thought about how we can go about adding pounds and pence. Now, yesterday's session was all about really some mental strategies for adding pounds and pence. And I mentioned that, yeah, we might have wanted to sort of lean on some written addition if we needed to, maybe if there was a sort of bit of a tricky one. But mainly yesterday, we were thinking about mental strategies for doing that, and that means in our head. But often we will encounter numbers which are a little bit too tricky to do in our head. And so when that happens, we do need a strategy for using a written method. Now, normally when we do our adding up, obviously we do our column addition and we do something like this. So this, I have to say, this is a number I'm not sure I could do in my head. I certainly wouldn't feel hugely confident at doing that in my head. So I'd probably write that down. I'd do 8 plus 5, that's 13. Lovely, bear with me while I've got my pen. 4, 7 and 1. So I can see that's 12. And 7 plus 1 in my hundreds, that's 8. And you can see I've laid that out really nicely in my columns. Happy days. So now I've been able to solve that a bit more effectively, and I didn't need to sort of get lost trying to do that in my head, because I think that was looking like quite a tricky calculation. So we've got that strategy. We know how to use that. We're really, really, really good at column addition. We've done that a lot earlier in the year. Does it work when we've got money? Let's have a look. I wonder if you spotted any issues we might encounter here. Let me try putting this into my normal column addition method. So 18, I know that that number 18 has 1 10 and 8 ones. It's not quite going to work in the same normal way, isn't it? Normally we think of our columns as hundreds, tens and ones. We've even looked a little bit at what happens when we go beyond that, and we might have hundreds, tens and ones in thousands. But we've kind of run out of room here, haven't we? We could do with a bit of extra room here. So what do you think we're going to need to do? We are going to need to extend our normal column addition columns and make a little bit more room to write in what's left. Let's actually have a look at how that's going to look on our page. So I'm still going to write my 18 in, and it's 18 pounds, and here I'm going to put my little dot in between my numbers, and I'm going to have 34. Now, the actual mechanics of adding this up aren't really going to change as long as I'm laying it out nicely. But what's really, really, really crucial is that we must line things up correctly. If I started laying out my next number here, I'm going to have big, big, big problems. It's not going to work. So it's absolutely essential I line this up carefully. Now, we can use our tens and ones as a bit of an anchor point. So I can see 29. I know that's going to be 2 tens and 9 ones. But really, really crucially here, we've also got our what we're calling a decimal point in between our ones, which is our pounds, and over here, which is our pence. Now, I could fill in some column headings for this. I could actually start thinking about this as tens pence, if that makes sense. So our tens of pence and ones for pence. But really, the crucial thing is, as long as I'm lining up my ones for pounds and tens for pounds, and as long as I've got my decimal points in the right place as well, I know this is still going to work out, and I can still use that same column addition method that I'm already really, really happy and confident using. Now, this is our first time looking really at something called a decimal, and it lends itself really well to money. But I don't want anyone to get bogged down in the idea of decimals, or indeed what we would kind of call these columns. We know it's our pence and that we've got tens and ones for pence. Again, I don't really want to get too bogged down in that for now. All I want us to be thinking about is the fact that, yes, we can use our familiar column addition method to add up money as and when we need to. And this is another one where, looking at this, I'm not sure I'd be happy using a mental strategy to add these up. So I would definitely be reaching for pen and paper and using column addition to make sure I get this right. Now I'm just going to do a quick check. I can see, yeah, my pence are lined up nicely, my pounds are lined up nicely, my decimal points are lined up nicely. I'm ready to go. You can also see I've got in my decimal point in my answer there as well, because I know if I'm lining up all my columns correctly, that's going to need to be there as well. And that in this case is separating my pounds on the left from my pence on the right. So now I can add this up. 4 plus 7, I know that's 11. 3 plus 8 plus 1, that's 12. Whenever I'm adding up columns and I see like a 9 and a 1, for example, I normally sort of bond those together in my head and think, well, 9 and 1 is 10, plus 8 is 18. And then finally, then I've got 1 plus 2 plus 1, that's 4. So we started off with money. We said that this was £18.34 and £29.87. How much money then is it in total? Because at the moment, I've just got these numbers in my answer box. What actual amount of money is that? Well, we could, if we wanted to, add back in our pound sign and have a look. So we've got here £48.21. Okay, what we're going to be looking at today then is exactly this. We're going to be doing some written column addition with money. But just as a little added challenge for you today, I'm doing them as word problems. So that means we've got to read a little sentence or two and make sense of the question and work out what it is we need to actually do to solve the question. So this one says, Louise buys a skirt for £6.50 and a top for £4.85. Bargain hunter. I like it, Louise. So let's put it into our column addition grid here. And you can say, oh, sorry, I missed off the last bit. How much does she spend altogether? And of course, that altogether bit really is crucial. I shouldn't have glossed over that. This altogether, how much does she spend altogether, tells us that this is an addition problem. It's saying it wants to find the answer to £6.50 plus £4.85. How much is that altogether when we've added them? So let's put it into our grid then. So I can see then that I've got £6. Is that going to go into hundreds, tens, or ones then? Just 6 on its own. Hopefully you spotted there. That's going to go in ones, so it's £6. And then I'll put this little decimal point in, £6.50. And then we're adding on to that, aren't we? £4.85. So same again, I'm just going to make sure I'm lining this up really nicely. It's a 4 on its own. That's a ones number, so I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to put my decimal point in and my 85. And now I'm ready to solve it. Okay. When we're doing this, I sometimes say to people, don't worry too much if you haven't got squared paper, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure you are being really clear about how you're lining this up. So don't squidge it into one tiny, tiny little space on your page. Give yourself plenty of room so you can make each of your columns really clearly separate down the page. That's going to be really handy. So 0 plus 5, always starting on the right-hand side. That's 5. 5 plus 8 is 13. Might make a little deliberate mistake here and see if you can spot it along the way. So 5 plus 8 is 13. 6 plus 4, that's 10. Plus the 1, that's 11. Okay. Now, I could go into this column as well. I haven't got any 10s apart from this one that I'm carried over, so that's 1 there. Fantastic then. So I can see now £6.50 plus £4.85 is 1,135, isn't it? Did you spot the mistake that I've made along the way there? What is it I haven't done? Aha. So I've got a decimal point here. I've got a decimal point here. So the one in my answer needs to be in the same place. It all needs to be lined up nicely. This decimal, it really acts kind of like a column in and of itself in that it needs to be lined up in the same way throughout all the numbers and all the digits we've got there. So it's £11.35 for a skirt and a top, bargain. Okay, Alfie Joel now, he buys some new football boots for £24.96 and some laces for 80p. How much does he spend altogether? So again, that altogether, that's telling us it's an addition question and that I need to add these two numbers together. I've deliberately here given quite a tricky pair of numbers because I want you to think really carefully about how you're going to line this up. So if you do have a piece of paper in front of you already, pause the video now and have a go yourself. How are you going to line this up? Where are you going to put the £24.96? Where are you going to put the 80p? Pause the video, have a think about it, come back to me. You don't need to get the answer just yet, but just try laying out, where are you going to put that 80p? What's it going to be in line with? Is it going to be in line with the £24, or is it going to be in line with the 96p? Okay, so my £24, well, I know that 24 has 2 10s and 4 1s. I know I'm going to put in my decimal point, and I know I'm going to have my 96p. Again, as always, apologies for the handwriting here, it's tricky with the laptop. And some laces for 80p. So this is the really tricky bit. We've got to be really careful about where we're going to line this up. Because yes, 80 does have 8 10s and 0 1s, but it's not pounds, is it? So we don't want to line it up with the 2. We don't want 8 in line with the 2, because that would be saying that I haven't got 80p, I've got £80, and I don't. It's going to be over here. Now I'm going to actually put in a decimal point here just to show that that's moving me across into pence. And I'm going to add in my 8 here and my 0 here. So let's just double check that we're happy with this then. So I've got £24.96. That's the football boots. And some laces for 80p. And yes, that's over here. Now I could write in £0.80. If I really wanted to, I could actually fill this whole thing up with zeros. I could have zeros all the way over here because I've got £0, 0 tens of pounds, 0 hundreds of pounds if I wanted to carry on. But it's not actually going to make any difference, is it? Because if I did 2 plus 0, it would still be 2, just the same as if it's 2 plus nothing, it would still be 2. So don't actually need those in there, but I'll just sort of put that in there for completion's sake. And now we can solve it. So 6 plus 0, that's 6. 9 plus 8, that's 17. I'm not going to make the same mistake I did last time. I'm going to make sure that decimal point's there. I've got 4 plus 0 plus 1, that's 5. And I've got 2 plus nothing, or it could be 2 plus 0 if I'd filled that in. That's 2 either way. So £25.76 is what Alfie Joel has spent on his football boots and laces. Okay, so some of the questions you're going to encounter today might just require a little bit more lateral thinking, might require you to think outside the box a little bit. Let's have a look at this one. Yaman, oh goodness me, he must have got a lot of Christmas money. Yaman is buying 3 video games for £39.50 each. How much do they cost altogether? So I can see that it's altogether. And I suppose in many ways we could maybe do this as a multiplication question, but as we've not really learned that yet, we're not going to start thinking about that. If I wanted to do this as an addition question, how would I do it? And are there any problems with what I've got at the moment? Pause the video, have a quick chat. How could we do this? And if I wanted to do this as addition, how could I solve it? Okay, I've got a couple of options here. I could do £39.50 plus £39.50, find out the answer to that, and then add another one on. That would work. That would be okay. I could do that. So that would be a 2-step problem then. I'd do £39.50 plus £39.50, and then add £39.50 to the answer. I could do it that way. The way I'm going to do it though is I'm actually going to just give myself a little bit more room, and I'm going to add it up 3 times. I'll show you what I mean by that. So I know I want to do £39.50 3 times, because he's bought 3 video games, it says, so it's £39.50 thank you for bearing with me. You get the idea. £39.50 plus £39.50 plus another £39.50. Now this is going to be a little bit more challenging. I'm going to need to add up a few extra numbers in my head here. I'm going to need to be adding 3 digits together rather than just 2. However, if you're doing and there will be a choice today, so maybe if you're doing, I think, some of the medium questions, possibly some of the spicy questions, you might encounter the odd question like this. So this is a way that we could do this. And although I've now got 3 layers to my column addition, I could still add it up in exactly the same way. It's going to be a bit more challenging, particularly when I get to those 3 9s, but it still works in the same way. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 5 plus 5, I know that's 15. Helps that we're just on our 3 times table, doesn't it? I'm going to put in my decimal point and make sure that's all lined up correctly in everyone. Now 9 plus 9 plus 9. Well, I actually, from our work on our 3 times table, I know that 3 times 9 is 27, plus the 1 is 28. And then over in this column, I've got 3 plus 3 plus 3. Again, I know that 3 times 3 is 9, plus the 2, that's 11. And I've got nothing else in my hundreds column apart from this one, so I'll bring that up as well. So have a look at my calculation there. How much were Yaman's 3 games altogether? How much did it cost him? £118 and 50 pence. Whew, it's an expensive shopping trip, Yaman. Okay. Now, I'll just say again, if that was a little bit challenging and you're thinking, oh, I don't know if I could do that one, you've got the option, say you've got mild, medium and spicy. So it might be that you want to do questions like that and you want to push yourself. It might actually be you're a bit more comfortable with some of the others. Either one is fine. Now, okay, I should say, if you are doing spicy today, if you're thinking, yeah, no problem at all, feeling really good, Mr. Vass, I can do column addition in my sleep, no problem whatsoever. I've given you a bit of an extra challenge. And this is a bit conceptual. This is going to require a little bit of thinking here. And what you're going to be doing is actually thinking ahead to something we'll all be learning about later in the week. So I'm setting you guys, if you want to do the spicy challenge, I'm setting you guys a bit of an additional challenge today. So let's read the questions, see what that additional challenge is going to look like. Mrs. Walker buys a coffee for £3.40 and a cake for £2.75. She pays with a £10 note. How much change does she get? Now, this is a bit of a different question, isn't it? It's no longer saying how much is the coffee and the cake all together. It's asking how much change she gets if she pays with a £10 note. Tricky. Let's do this one together and let's see what this is going to look like. So particularly if you want to do spicy, really be paying attention to this. So it says, first of all, that she bought a coffee and a cake. So let's first of all work out the cost of the coffee and the cake. Oh, sorry, wrong one. So I'm going to think really carefully, more carefully than I did then. £3.40, well, 3 is a ones number, so I've got £3 here, a decimal point and a 40. And her cake is £2.75. Could really go for a cake rate now, actually. £2.75. Okay, so once we've done that, I think, have I done this on the next page already? Oh, brilliant. Okay, yeah. Well, this is in true Blue Peter style. Here's one I made earlier. So there is £6.15. So I've added up the cost there of the coffee and the cake. Brilliant. But that's not my answer, because it doesn't say how much was the coffee and the cake altogether. It says how much change does she get when she pays with a £10 note. So we actually need to do a second step. So this means that for all of these spicy questions, you're going to need to be doing a second calculation for each one. So it's not just doing the addition, there's going to be something else in there as well. Told you it'd be a bit of an extra challenge. So let's look at how that would work. I'm just going to need to bring this up. So I've got this. Can I do it all? Yeah, cool. So we're going to do now £10, which is the note that she has paid with, take away £6.15, which was the cost of her spending. Now, a couple of ways we could do this. You might be looking at that thinking, do you know what, I might use a mental strategy there. I might count up maybe. That could be a good way of doing it. I'm personally going to go for a column subtraction method, just so you can see what this looks like. So I've got £10, take away £6.15. Now, I can't do 0 take away 5. If I've got 0, I can't take 5 away. So I need to go all the way over here. I'm going to exchange £10 for 10 ones. Still doesn't help me over here though, does it? I can't just whiz that all the way across there, because £10 isn't the same as 10 pence. So I'm going to exchange one of my ones. So it's not 10 anymore, it's 9 for 10 over here. And then I'm going to exchange one of those. So that's 9 for 10 over here. Okay, so 10 take away 5, that's 5. 9 take away 1, that's 8. I'm going to keep my decimal point in the right place. 9 take away 6 is 3. and 0 take away nothing, that's 0. And this is the amount of money that Mrs. Walker would get back from her spending. She would get back £3.85. Now I say again, that is just for the spicy ones today. So if you're a bit confused by that, if you're thinking, oh, I don't know about that one, you don't necessarily have to do that. Don't panic, there is a choice today. So let's have a look. If you'd like to do the mild questions, here are your word problems. There's 7. Pause the video here, have a go at it, and come back for the answers. If you'd like to do the medium word problems, here are yours. If you're feeling really confident and you'd like to do the spicy ones, good luck. Here are the spicy questions. Pause here and come back for the answers when you are ready. Okay, everybody, here they are. So you can mark your own work, you can check how you got on. If there are any you're suddenly going, oh, I really don't know what happened there, I'm not sure how that went wrong, have another look back, maybe rewatch the video if you're a bit unsure, give it your best go. Okay, if you have enjoyed this or if you want a bit more practice of this, I think a really good thing you could go and do for the rest of the day, have a look at some things you would like to buy. So let's say you've got a PlayStation, you're really excited to go and buy some video games. Why not add up the costs of a couple of things you want to buy? If you're thinking, oh, do you know what? I'd really love FIFA 21 and I'd really love Minecraft, let's say. I think that one on the end looks a bit scary. That's not really for me. Let's say you wanted to buy FIFA 21 and Minecraft, add it up. Make yourself a little fantasy shopping basket, add up the prices, and you can practice this skill while you're doing your online shopping. Okay, thanks everyone. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. Hopefully you've got on okay with that. I will see you back. I'll see you back later. Sorry, I'll see you back on our YouTube channel tomorrow. And there's a video from Mrs. Potter for you this afternoon. Hope you have a great rest of the day. See you soon. Bye.